Hello, beautiful conscious creators. I hope that you have started your day with nothing short of health, wealth, peace, love, and light. As we explore. Ooh, did you see? Let me restart. Hello, beautiful conscious creators. I hope that you have started your day with nothing short of health, wealth, peace, love, and light. As we explore healing and conscious creation together in this space, I hope that you'll remember to be kind and patient with yourself and your thoughts. So song recommendation before I start. Rissa, Rissa, Doubt. It's a very it's quite an uplifting song in terms of like the things that I don't know. I like, just check it out. The song is if you listen to the lyrics, it's quite just, it gets you out of your head and almost into your body because you're listening to the words and you're absorbing everything that it's saying. The more I listen to it, let me just say this, the more I listen to the song, the more I don't know, I needed it at the time. The first time I heard the song, I'm going off on a tangent, hey? But the first time I heard the song, I remember I was working on my website and it just kept me going. It kept me motivated because it helped me almost remember the goal that I was working towards. Did it help me remember? Yes. It led me into a feeling of reminding me that I should just keep going, and there will be doubts along the way, but I should just keep pushing, keep moving, and making sure, like, it was uplifting. The moral of the story is Rissa, Doubt was quite a very it was an uplifting song to get me through this whole the work of working on the website. Anyway, so I'm actually, I'm going to shift the conversation that I wanted to go into today and explore the one that literally just came to mind, because I was speaking to one of my friends the other day, and basically it connects with the song that I'm talking about. I was speaking to one of my friends the other day, and she has found herself in a situation where she has had I don't know if I can, you guys don't know her, so I can just say she was almost feeling anxious about the things that were happening in her life, right? And they related to a lot of circumstances that unfolded for her at the beginning of the year. And while I was having a conversation with her, after we'd hung up, I remembered, I don't know, something came to mind where I realized that the space that she's in is an opportunity, because now she's being quite anxious. I want to just take a little bit of a dive into the state of angst. The space that she's in right now is an opportunity for her to take a deep dive into herself, because she mentioned that she became a little bit ill and she didn't understand why she was continuously feeling sick, and but that place that she's in is an opportunity for her to take a deep dive in herself. Because what happens when we are so bogged up and there are so many things that are happening in our mind, our body will respond. Or if we have certain blockages, or if we have certain things that are stressing us, like mental things that are just weighing heavily on us, they will start to show up in our bodies, because our bodies are are an expression of what is happening on the inside. You know how I always say the mind, the body, and the soul are connected? I don't always say it, but the mind, the body, and the soul are connected, and we all know this. I think not everyone, but a lot of people have always grown up knowing that there is a certain connection between the three: mind, body, and soul. So when the mind is affected, whether there are things that are weighing us heavily, and we are constantly in our minds, we are constantly overthinking, we are constantly stressed about things, and then we start feeling sick. It's our body showing to us that there is something fundamentally, can I use the word wrong? But there's something that is restricted within us, that it's starting to express itself in our body. So it's an opportunity. I'm going to use her as an example, but I'm also sharing with you guys, when you are going through circumstances in your life that are progressing and are continuous to the point that they have now filtered into the body, because a lot of the things that happen in our minds filter as an expression in our body, right? And they start showing up in I don't know, there's this guy, I want to get to the point. I am going to get to the point, but there is Mate. I haven't read the book, but he's a psychologist. And I remember buying one of his books and reading the first chapter about arthritis, and how some women who've been in relationships at their older age, or who've stayed in relationships that were like that, where they didn't feel calm or relaxed all the time, not all the time, but they were always tense because they were always serving and doing for others, but they didn't receive as much in return. They ended up developing arthritis. It's I'll link the name of the book in the description, and I should probably read the whole thing. But I remember, like, when I started reading it, it made so much sense how, because I've always known how the things that are happening in my mind, I always used to have my stomach would always be sore and achy, and like there would be some discomfort in my stomach because the areas that were affected, I don't know, somehow in my mind were affecting my stomach. So the illness was expressing itself in my body. So that is when I realized this is an opportunity for me to take a deep dive inside. Because when things start to express themselves in our body, the illness, so to speak, can I call it an illness? The ailment, I don't know if I can call it an illness or an ailment, but whatever is restricted starts to reflect and express itself in our bodies. So it's an opportunity for us to take a deep dive inside and actually listen to what's happening in our minds. Because once we start to heal and pay attention to what it is inside of us, inside of our mind, that needs some shifting, that needs for us to take a different approach in how we look at it, then we begin to heal. In a way, we do begin to heal, because now we are aware of what the problem is and it doesn't weigh heavily. When a problem comes to light, when a problem is in our face and we have an understanding of what it is, the challenge is, of what the root cause is, of what it is that is truly affecting us. Because I think this links to one of my root cause episodes. I don't know if I posted it. It's one of those ones that are hidden in the archives. But the root cause of a problem, if we have a certain problem, I'll use an analogy of a tree, and I'll probably post the episode another time or like redo it. I don't know if I can find it. But when you look at a tree, right, and you look at the stem of a tree, so how is this tree fed? Let's just say this is the stem of the tree, and then these are the what are these branches? These are the branches, and down here are the roots. the stem and whatever is happening here, these leaves are being fed by the roots, are being fed by whatever is in the soil, right? And where there are restrictions, it starts to affect the whole tree. And you'll start to see weaknesses in the tree where maybe there might be potential, like it might age very quickly on this side because it's being restricted. There's some root that is restricted on this side, right? I don't know if you can see. Oh, there's some root that is affected on this side. And so it starts to affect the whole stem. And then the leaves, what we end up seeing is somehow some of these leaves are not growing as well, or they don't take on the same colors. They're not as vibrant. But that's because something down here has been affected. And it starts to affect everything else. What is being fed is restricted. What appears on the outside is as though maybe what appears on the outside is an expression of what is happening down here. Yes, that is what I want to say. So what is happening in here, the things that we cannot see, the things that we have no clear sight of, right? When they are affecting us, when they are in the process of feeding us and yet being restricted in a way that they are supposed to feed us, then on the outside, the expression, the ailment shows up on the outside, and we start to see leaves falling apart, or we start to see leaves not being as strong and as expansive as they could potentially be. So by understanding that what shows up is merely a reflection of what's happening on the inside, then we can understand that it is an opportunity for us to take a deep dive on the inside, to take a deep dive in the mind. And one thing I can recommend is fasting. Because when we fast, I'll get into fasting, because fasting is just, it does wonders for the mind and the body and the soul. And it's just because you're so stripped, it strips away all the veils, it strips away all the things, because now the attention is not necessarily on the stomach. When you fast, like doing a water fast, I'm rambling at this point, but when you end up doing a fast or taking on something that is restricting the external, we get to focus on the mind, and then you start to you start to hear the conditioning in your mind, and it gives you a better chance and an opportunity for you to work or shift the continuous thoughts that you weren't necessarily aware of. So it's an opportunity when we are ill, when our body is physically expressing illness. And I'm not saying like short term, like cough, cough, move on. I'm talking about the things that you almost feel continuously tired. You're constantly like lethargic. Something is fundamentally wrong, or something is fundamentally being affected, and it needs your attention. And once this problem comes to light and you start to observe and you become aware of what the root cause is, what the problem, what it stems from, I wouldn't say stems from, but what it's rooted in, and you're aware of it, then it's easier for you to work on shifting this thing by maybe working on affirmations, by maybe healing those parts of yourself that need that attention. I don't know if it's the healing that needs to happen or if it's just a mindset shift. I can't tell. Only you will know. Only you are aware of. Only you will understand which part of yourself, or not which part of yourself, but how the change needs to happen. Only you will understand how this change needs to take place. Is it healing? Is it just changing affirmations? Is it just trying to shift perspective on the things that you're looking at, on how you're looking at the situation and how you're looking at the circumstance. Is it something maybe that you need to add into your life? Because sometimes maybe there's a possibility that there's something missing. And so because this thing is missing and this thing just needs you to be drawn more to it, like maybe, I don't know, meditating, taking a step back and resting. Maybe you need to add rest into your life. Only you will know what it is that you need to add and take on in order for you to get to a place where this problem that has come to light, this problem that you understand, now have a clear awareness of how you can shift and get through it. Yeah, I've rambled, but I hope that makes sense. I hope that, yeah, by sharing, it makes sense. And also, she shared with me that like some of my videos, have been helping her. So I am happy and I'm feeling blessed, and I am so grateful that like I have the support, and I know that like it's helping someone else out there. And even though I'm getting there in terms of like because this is not an episode that I was meant to record, but you know, sometimes when you're so led into something and you're just like, let me just dive into this. Did you see that salivaing outside? Anyway, thank you for listening all the way to the end. My name is Obakeng and I am your accidental therapist. Mwah!